Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be sharing 10 things that I like to avoid to help optimize my gut health. You know, when you think of gut health or lack of gut health, you usually think of stomach aches, bathroom problems, bloating, cramping, all that not so fun stuff. But our gut health is so much more than that, and it affects so much more than our digestive system. Our digestive system breaks down food into nutrients that our body can absorb and use. So having a healthy gut will help us digest and absorb nutrients, vitamins, and minerals better, and also help us properly eliminate waste. So the good stuff can come in and the bad stuff can get out. Our gut is also home to a huge portion of our body's immune system, so a healthy, diverse microbiome will allow us to fight off different pathogens and infections and keep our immune system fighting for us. And you may not even realize that your gut also affects your mind as well. And this is something that I'm personally very passionate about because I have dealt with a lifelong struggle with anxiety, depression, and OCD. There's something called the gut-brain axis. So basically changes in the gut microbiome can influence our stress levels, our mood, our mental health. There is quite a bit of research on how our gut can affect conditions like anxiety and depression. So if you do struggle with those things, I highly recommend diving a bit deeper into that. So I am very attuned with how certain foods affect me mentally, and I'm always trying to optimize my gut health because I know that it not only affects the way I feel on the inside, but it also affects the way I look on the outside with my skin and whatnot. And I want to quickly thank Seed for sponsoring today's video. Seed's DSO1 Daily Synbiotic is a broad spectrum probiotic and prebiotic formulated with 24 clinically and scientifically studied strains for whole body benefits, including gut, skin, and heart health. And I do have a coupon code to offer you. You can use Holistic Habits 25 to get 25% off. Their patented capsule and capsule via cap optimizes viability and delivers a precision release to the colon, and they ensure the full dosage of live bacteria survives and remains viable through digestion. And it doesn't require refrigeration, which is great because then I can take it with me when I travel. Our bodies are a home to 38 trillion bacteria. And just like your genome, your microbiome is completely unique to you, and it's constantly changing due to things like stress, sleep, exercise, food we eat, medications we're taking. So Seed's DSO1 is a plant-based prebiotic and 24-strain probiotic, and it helps with digestive health, cardiovascular health, dermatological health, micronutrient synthesis, and more. So I just take 2 capsules daily. And another thing that I love about Seed is it does come in this beautiful glass jar, ASMR. And then every month they will send you a refill so you can just refill your jar and stay on top of your gut health. I have dealt and struggled with severe acne in the past, and keeping my gut healthy is so important for my maintaining clear skin. So in a way, Seed is a part of my beauty routine because it does have strains for dermatological health as well as digestive health and cardiovascular health. And also my digestion just feels better when I'm taking Seed. And you can use my code to get 25% off Seed's DSO1 Daily Synbiotic. So head down to the description box for more details. So the first thing I try to avoid for optimum gut health is chronic stress and inadequate sleep. Both chronic stress and inadequate sleep may affect the gut-brain axis like I was talking about before, and stress and depression can increase your gut barrier permeability, and this can result in leaky gut, which allows bacteria to seep into your bloodstream. So finding ways to manage stress is very important, and for each of us it's quite individual. So I do have videos on how I like to reduce anxiety and stress and all that. I can link down below in the description box. And you can see how stress affects your digestive system because, if you get really stressed out or anxious or nervous about something, often you'll have to go to the bathroom more, or you'll get a stomach ache, that sort of thing. And trust me, I know managing chronic stress is easier said than done. And our life is always going to have ups and downs. We're always going to have stress, and stress is natural, and it is a good amount is healthy. But when it becomes chronic and it's affecting our gut, that's when it's bad. So we want to try incorporating mindfulness techniques. And for me, having a morning routine as well as daily exercise is so crucial for managing stress. So I just mentioned how exercise is something that really helps me manage my stress levels. And it's very fitting because my next tip, or my next thing that I avoid for gut health, is living a sedentary lifestyle, because movement is one of the best things you can do for your digestive system. Movement is going to help improve blood flow to your whole body, including your digestive organs, and improved circulation is going to make sure that your digestive system receives adequate supplies of oxygen and nutrients, and just promotes overall digestive health. Physical activity is also going to stimulate the muscles of the digestive tract, so that movement is going to actually help move food through your digestive system. So if you're dealing with things like constipation, maybe try moving more. That's why it's kind of nice to sometimes go for a walk after dinner, is just to kind of get moving and help you digest a bit better. Now, the next thing I avoid is improperly preparing the foods that I eat. So it's important to cook and prepare foods in ways that not only preserve the nutritional value of the food, but also promote easy digestion. Also, the oils that you prepare your food with. So I avoid all seed oils, so things like sunflower seed oil, canola oil. I do not touch those. Those are going to promote inflammation in the body. They are not good for your gut. So instead, I opt for things like grass-fed butter, ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. If you eat things like beans, legumes, seeds, nuts, grains, you can really benefit from properly preparing those things. So soaking and sprouting them can reduce anti-nutrients, help you absorb the nutrients better, and help optimize the ability to digest those foods. Also fermenting certain foods, cooking certain foods, so it optimizes nutrient absorption and digestion, but also not overcooking certain foods. Really listen to your body, and if something doesn't agree with you, maybe you're not preparing it in the most optimal way, or maybe you just need to eliminate it altogether, because I really believe each of us thrive on a different diet. What might work for me might not work for you. And I think it's just about listening to our own body and eating foods that make us feel good. And that leads us to my next thing that I avoid, and that is not chewing your food and not having mindful practices around eating. So not only do you want to prepare your food right, but you also want to eat your food right. So chewing our food is so important because it's going to aid in the mechanical breakdown of the food, and it's also going to release digestive enzymes in our saliva to help break it down and get the nutrients from it. And this is something that I have difficulty with because, I'll chew things a couple times and then swallow it. But you really want to focus on chewing. And I think it's like you want to chew something like 30 times. It's a lot, but just maybe be more mindful of how much you're chewing. Also, eating slower instead of scarfing down food. Just taking time to eat a little bit slowly. Also, I try to avoid drinking when I'm eating. I try to drink in between my meals. The next thing that I avoid is being dehydrated. Being dehydrated can lead to digestive problems like constipation, so it's important that we are getting adequate amounts of liquid throughout the day. And I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I'm not the biggest fan of drinking just straight water. I always have to do something special to make it so I want to drink it. I have been loving lately drinking sparkling spring water, and I have this vitamin C powder from New Roots that I put in it, and it's so delicious. And we know that refined sugars and artificial sweeteners are really bad for our gut health. So if you're someone that drinks pop or soda, I highly recommend trading it out for kombucha. Kombucha is a fermented tea, and to me it tastes way better than any soda ever could. And it's good for your gut health. It's fermented, it has lots of good bacteria. Another thing I love to do is make an herbal tea and then put frozen fruit in it to kind of make it into an iced tea. There's no sugar other than what's in the fruit. And that's just another fun way to drink water. So just get creative and make sure you're keeping hydrated. And speaking of hydration, something that is going to dehydrate you and something that I completely avoid is drinking alcohol. So excessive alcohol consumption is going to increase inflammation in the body. It may alter your gut's microbiome composition. It can lead to things like an overgrowth of candida. Alcohol is inflammatory, and chronic inflammation can lead to a lot of different issues in your body and in your digestive system. And of course, we know that alcohol is horrible for our liver, and our liver is part of our digestive system. Excessive alcohol consumption can lead to liver inflammation, fatty liver, and even cirrhosis of the liver. So if you want a healthy liver, don't drink. And if you do, drink in moderation, but don't drink in excess. The next thing I try to avoid is eating pesticide-laden foods. Some studies suggest that exposure to certain pesticides may cause issues for the gut microbiome and overall health of the digestive system. So try when possible to choose organic foods. And if you are buying conventional foods, make sure to wash them, cut the skins off them. But that isn't going to completely eliminate the pesticides. So try to buy organic when you can. I mean, the optimal thing would be to grow your own food and know exactly what is in that food. But, that is not doable for most of us. So something that can really help you is looking at the EWG's Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen list. So the Clean 15 and Dirty Dozen lists are published every year by the EWG, and it highlights fruits and vegetables with low and high pesticide residues. So these lists can be very helpful when you're shopping, because then you can look and see some foods that maybe you can get away with buying conventional, and then other fruits like apples and peaches that you want to make sure you're buying organic because they are highly sprayed. And the next thing I avoid is overuse and misuse of certain drugs. So things like antibiotics, if you are overusing them or misusing them, they can really affect your gut because they are killing off the bad and the good bacteria. I'm not a doctor, I'm not giving medical advice, but yeah, try not to overuse antibiotics, and sometimes we need to use antibiotics. So if you do use antibiotics, make sure that you are focusing on gut health afterwards and taking a good probiotic and replenishing the good bacteria in your gut. And also even things like ibuprofen can really wreak havoc on your gut if you are overusing them. It can cause inflammation to the stomach lining. And yeah, you just want to be very mindful when you're using these things and making sure that you are focusing on gut health. And another thing that I personally avoid like the plague for optimal gut health is artificial sweeteners. So things like aspartame, sucralose. Studies have suggested that certain artificial sweeteners can alter the composition and diversity of the gut microbiome. As we know, having a healthy gut microbiome is so important. So for me personally, when I want something sweet, I will eat fruit, I will have raw honey, I will have some beautiful organic maple syrup. I just try to avoid refined sugars and artificial sweeteners because I don't believe they are beneficial for our health, especially excessive consumption of them. And then something else I try to avoid for optimal gut health is excessive consumption of processed foods and refined sugars. I would be lying if I said I didn't eat any processed foods, because even the other day, I didn't get enough protein in, so I just had myself a protein shake. And it was a clean protein shake, but it's still being processed, you know what I mean? You do want to avoid eating foods with a lot of refined sugars, trans fats, artificial and even natural flavorings, additives, all that kind of stuff is just going to promote inflammation in your body and in your gut. It's going to lead to crashes and spikes in blood sugar levels. And those types of foods are just lacking the nutrients that we need for health. And really, we should be trying to eat for our health and to nourish ourselves, not only eating for pleasure. And I personally try to avoid these foods because I do notice effects on my mental health when I eat them. More anxiety, more depression if I'm eating more refined sugars and processed foods or deep fried foods, things like that. So I just choose to avoid that because I know that it helps me feel and look my best. All right, guys, so those are the things that I try to avoid as best as I can for optimal digestive and gut health. And if you guys have anything you love to do or avoid for optimal gut health, definitely leave a comment down below and we can all share with one another. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!